You're listening to Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry Sanderson on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
87, Chet Holmgren, 25 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 blocks. And the Timberwolves edged the Kings 117-115.
Inside the Locker Room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the locker room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
And good morning. Welcome into a Friday edition of Inside the Locker Room. About made it through another week. It's homecoming week. I haven't heard a lot about homecoming. I know I drove by campus yesterday. I know they had the, what do you call the deals where they build the bonfire? The, what are those called? The pallets. I'm sorry. The pallets were out on the quad. So I'm sure the parade and all will be tomorrow. And so I hope everybody comes in, has a safe trip in, and enjoys the homecoming festivities over the weekend. This hasn't been a lot of buzz about homecoming to me. Maybe I'm missing it, but hopefully the team will get out and play well tomorrow. They sure need to. 205-342-9904 is the number if you'd like to jump in on the show with us this morning. Our X accounts at Locker Room 109, at Barry Sanderson, at Wimp Sanderson 1. Email is Wimp and Barry at yahoo.com. Download the app, the Tide 100.9 app, to your smartphone, and you can take us with you anywhere you go. Also can send us an app message if you'd like to do that throughout the show. Sometimes I get them later in the day, and people think they're sending them to different shows, and they come to us. But that's fine as well. So just keep the messages coming. Yellowwood pressure treated pine from Great Southern. Guys, if you're going to build the fence, the deck, the pergola, you want to build it to last. Well, there's only one choice, and that would be Yellowwood. Go to yellowwood.com to find a dealer closest to you. And always remember, guys, if it doesn't have that yellow tag on it, then you certainly don't want it. The blue plate is in. It's actually tonight, 6:30. The line is the same. Still 7.5. Dad's taking Louisville on the road. So being on the road's always a little bit scary, and that half can scare you as well. So sometimes people like to buy those halves down, but it'll be something to give you something to watch tonight. Plus, Dad, the World Series starts tonight. Who you pulling for, the Yankees or the Dodgers?
I hope they both lose.
They ain't going to both lose, but I get it. Good morning. How are you guys this morning?
Oh, we're okay. I thought maybe you might mention I was Grand Marshal of the Homecoming Parade before you were born.
No, I think they... Yeah, did you ride on a truck?
No, I rode in a convertible.
Oh.
Sit on the back seat of it, sitting up in a convertible.
Who is the Grand Marshal this year?
You know what I'd like to see, Barry? I'd like to see them go back, not because of me, leave me out. Go back and see all the Grand Marshals over the years. That'd really be interesting, I think, to see that.
Who's the Grand Marshal this year, Chase?
Got me.
I'm putting Chase on the spot. I think he's a former player, I think. Chase has find it. Chase can find anything. So
anyway, that's a long time ago. Pitt beat Syracuse 41-13. Eli Holstein, who had played for Alabama or had come to Alabama or was involved with Alabama, led Pittsburgh also. Pitt intercepted 5 passes from Syracuse, and a good win for them. The other important thing I thought is Zuzu, Z-O-Z-O golf tournament in wherever, Chibai, wherever. Justin Thomas is in second place at 10 under, 12 under leads, which is good for Justin because if you win that, it gives you a lot of freedom to play a lot of the major, and so a lot of people, Hogue's playing in it, Davis is in it, Love, a bunch of them, not Davis Love, but several of them are in there from Alabama, so it would be good to keep up with that and see how if Justin can come out from under his putting woes. Ron Higgins. The reason we had Ron on today was it's the only game where both teams are undefeated. I believe that's correct in the SEC with LSU going to Texas A&M. So we thought we'd have Ron Higgins on to visit with you a few minutes since we hadn't had a whole lot of guests this week. In the NFL last night, the Rams beat the Vikings. Minnesota Vikings used to be Barry's team. The Rams beat them 30-20. One thing that worries me about Louisville, I get on that this morning and read where the wideout for Louisville is injured or not going to play. I did not know that yesterday. It just was announced today.
You want to change your pick?
No, I do not. So anyway, we'll see if that has anything to do with anything. Greg McElroy, pardon me, I'm sorry. Greg McElroy, I'm on his show occasionally, says that Ryan missed a block on 4th and 22 that would have sprung open, and perhaps Alabama would have won the game. At Auburn, the leading rusher for Kentucky, is out, will not play against Auburn in the game tomorrow. So that's the only Auburn news that I have outside of what was said yesterday. Old Dominion beat Georgia Southern 47-14 or something like that last night. So those are about the only things that are really just jump out at you. We'll welcome your calls. You can tell us what you think about the opportunity for Alabama to move on by beating Missouri. Missouri has a questionable player and one who's not playing, a questionable player. And so we'll see if that affects them any or if Alabama can get off to a good start. That's all I got.
All right. Obviously, Amir Abdul-Rahim, the basketball coach at South Florida. And the reason I mentioned it, he was at Georgia when Philip Pearson was there. He worked for my really close friend, Billy Kennedy. Billy Kennedy actually recruited Amir. He played for him at Southeast Louisiana. He was with Billy. I know at Texas A&M. He may have been with him at Murray State as well. Was the head coach at Kennesaw State where actually Antoine Petway, who everybody knows here, took his place. He took them from 1-27 to the NCAA tournament. Passed away yesterday. I've met him a couple of times. His
what
brother.
Was his illness, son? Do you know?
That I don't know. He was having some kind of surgery and he's got 3 kids. And this kind of breaks my heart that one of his things that you got to do this in honor of him. One of the things he always did was drove his kids to school. So now I think about those 3 kids and going when they do go back to school and their dad not drive them. They are just it's tough. So drive your kids to school. That's a pretty cool thing. That's the only regret I have about doing this show this early is I think you used to drive us to school some and sing country music. And driving your kids to school is kind of cool, to be honest with you. It's fun. You can have a good. I used to laugh and tell my kids I was going to put on my church socks and pull them up to my knees and get out of the car, and they used to go crazy, not want me to do it because I was going to embarrass them. But anyway, I hate that for Amir and his family. His brother was a great player at Cal and played in the NBA for 13 years. So anyway, too young, 43 years old, passed away there. All right, we'll get right here to the Yellowwood Hotline. We'll bring Tom in. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Barry. Morning, Coach. That Shepherd guy's a lying ass. That's what he is.
Okay.
They probably didn't go out there and write it on the chalkboard. Number 2, you go down here and block number 31 or whatever the numbers would be. But if he had made that block, we'd got a first down.
So Greg McElroy said it during the broadcast.
Greg McElroy is exactly right.
And Shepherd,
exactly right.
Shepherd took the opportunity on Wednesday to say that was not true.
But he's a liar. I'm telling you, go back and watch that play.
Yeah.
And Greg McElroy is an intelligent individual. Don't miss that kind of stuff. And if he wasn't sure, he wouldn't say it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's how people are saying that.
I do.
Well,
I got news for this coach himself. Quit lying. tell the truth. We can take the truth.
Why would he lie about that?
You know what? To protect some fragile ego.
Yeah.
In his mind, that's what he was doing. But anyway, that's beside the point. I didn't call about that.
Okay.
I want to say this. The Dodgers and Yankees. Listen to this, what I read. The last 2 games, 1-1. The last 6 games, 3-3. The last 10 games, 5-5. You read that too?
No, I was just guessing. How about the last 20 games?
10-10.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah. Is that unbelievable?
Well, they ain't gonna go. If they play 7 games, somebody's gonna have to go 4-3.
Maybe they'll both lose.
They want them both to lose. Do you like these big market, high money, these people that buy teams? You like that?
Well, I don't get into that whether I like or dislike. It's usually some players I like on one team or not. Here's the thing. Clayton Kershaw, when he was with Boston, I just kind of started following him. I liked his career, liked the way he played and this, that, and the other. That's the kind of crap I do. You know what I mean? Now he's with the Dodgers, and but he's hurt. But that's what I go by. I don't go by all this who's more attracted to TV and all like that.
My wife thinks that she doesn't like Shohei. She says that he knew about the guy, the interpreter.
He did. Oh, my God.
He did not know.
He did know. Pete Rose said it better than anybody. He said, all I need to do is have an interpreter.
Pete Rose?
He said, if he had an interpreter, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. He's exactly right. That guy knew what he was doing. Don't give me that crap.
That's funny. Did Pete Rose really say that?
Yeah, he said it. I've read it in an article.
That's the funniest thing I've heard all week.
What did Pete Rose say?
If he had an interpreter, he could have blamed it on him. He'd be in the Hall of Fame.
It's the truth.
So you think Shohei's guilty?
Yeah, he's guilty. Did you see the amount of money? I don't care what that contract said. The amount of money that was being bet. Come on, Barry, please.
Here's the thing I don't understand about Shohei Ohtani. Whatever. How long has he been in the United States?
I don't know.
He's been here. He's been here a little while, right? When they hear this long, can they not speak English? I mean, come on, you've been over here for 8 years or whatever, and they act like they don't know one word of English.
Oh, Barry, you are so spot on this morning. I can't get over it. You're so good.
Spot on. I said I thought he was innocent on the gambling.
When you get home today, you tell Miss Jenny she's got this crap figured out.
She don't know crap.
But she knows that.
Sorry, Jenny. Sorry, she does. Sorry.
Oh, one more thing I'm going to get out of the way. Coach.
Yeah.
Is Coach still there?
He's here.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought maybe you had one out or something. I wanted to tell you this. Have you noticed the scores from Japan PGA?
Yeah, a little bit. I lost them on my computer this morning but we had a lot of Alabama people playing pretty well.
Yeah, JT's in second.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, he's 10 under.
Yeah. But listen to this. I follow this. Whoever it is does Justin Thomas tracker on Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. So yesterday, I'm on Twitter, and I look up there, and he's posting. And so I click on it and read it. He said, first hole, JT started off on 10. So he bombs one down the middle, 305. I go, you know what? That's the way you got to start right there. If you're going to feel good the rest of the day, you got to hit that first shot good. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 305, right down the gut.
That'll put you in a good mood, won't it?
What do you make, Bogey?
No, he birdied the second. He hard, and then he bombed on number 11. He bombed another one and birdied.
Tom, I appreciate you. You gave me the best laugh I've had all week. Pete Rose said he should have had an interpreter. He'd be in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
That's funny. That's really funny. Thank you, Tom. Have a great week. Is Alabama going to win?
Right.
Is Alabama going to win? Is Alabama going to win tomorrow?
You know what? Barry, that's a whole nother hour. I'll see you one day. We'll talk about it.
Thank you, sir. Actually, my wife and Mac were at in Aliceville yesterday at some place with their field trip, someplace Shark Tooth Landing or something. He got a shark tooth. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Really?
Shark Tooth.
2-minute truck there at 1330 Martin Road East. That's where you go pick up your boxes, your packing supplies, whatever you need to make this a smooth move. Whether it's local, out of town, out of state, no problem. Moving is stressful. Let the professionals handle it. If you got the holidays are coming and you got stuff packed up in the attic or you need help moving things around the house, just give them a call. They'll come help, whatever you need. 205-247-5050. It's 2 Men in a Truck Movers who care.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Friday morning. Jeremiah's Garden, a nonprofit that donates thousands of pounds of food annually, is sponsoring Music in the Garden. It's 1 to 5 tomorrow afternoon at 606 James Harrison Parkway. There'll be music, raffles, vendors, kids' games, and activities. There's a $5 entry fee, $3 for children under 10. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather coverage. It's free all throughout the day. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. While we don't have any accidents or incidents to tell you about this morning, we do have some construction that may slow you down. Let's start here. Long-term road construction, McFarland Boulevard, both eastbound and westbound, between Jack Warner Parkway and Lurleen B. Wallace Boulevard. Also long-term road construction, Greensboro Avenue southbound at 26th Street. And we have some
Make fall cleanup quick and easy and save big money at Menards. From chainsaws, hedge trimmers, to blowers and more, Works Power Tools and Lawn Equipment have the power for you to get the job done faster and easier. Check out Menards' entire selection of Works Power Tools and lawn equipment. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental car comes with 24 hours roadside assistance.
In stock and over 60 pre-owned vehicles. Remember, we'll buy your car even if you don't do business with us. 3200 Skyland Boulevard, East Tuscaloosa. Online at mercedes-tuscaloosa.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather stays unseasonably warm today. Mostly sunny with a high at 86. Fair tonight, the low 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, the high 84. Sunday, partly sunny, a small chance of a shower. Sunday's high at 80. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 55 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
A national championship team covering a national championship team. The best sports talk in the state. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to the Inside Locker Room. Yellowwood pressure treated you fine from Great Southern Wood. If it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, then you certainly don't want it. All right, Tom had to call back in. Hey, Tom.
Barry, please don't be dissing Shark Tooth. It's one of the most beautiful places in the state of Alabama.
How was I dissing it?
Well, I just want to make sure that we give it all credit. We don't have a damn hospital over here, and we ain't got no ambulance. Or nothing in Pickens County, but we got Shark Tooth, and it's a thing of pride about it. Ken and Betty Ann Owens run that out there, and it's a gorgeous place, so give it all the credit.
Jenny said they had some boots for her to put on so she didn't have to get in that water. I don't know if she got in there or not. And that Mac found the biggest tooth of all the people in the class.
Really?
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I'm glad he had a good. Did he like it?
Yeah, I think he did. I think so. Yeah, they like it. They didn't get out of school. So
anyway, I want to make sure you give Ken and them their due because it is a beautiful place.
Well, then, maybe I need to go see it.
You do. Yeah. You do. You need to go out there and experience it. It's a fun day trip.
Like he knew where it was. Like he'd been there before. So I don't know. I didn't know anything about it.
It's good. Well, I know one thing. They love Coach Sanderson. Betty and Ken do, and the kids.
You think you could get him a free admission out there?
No, I don't have that kind of pull with Ken. Ken's tight.
Oh, is he? Okay. Thank you, Tom. All right. Yeah. I didn't know anything about Shark Tooth Landing. Is it real shark teeth in there? All right. Tonight, Dad, the running back Boise State's got, they talk about he's going to win the Heisman. They're taking on UNLV. Both these teams currently 6-1, both 2-0 in the Mountain West. Your Blue Plate is tonight with Louisville traveling to Boston College. Do you like Friday night football for college?
Well, I don't like it. If I don't like it, it's because of high school football. I don't want to hurt them. That would be the only reason. It's fine.
Yeah, high school football. They've got 2 more. Well, let's see. Yeah, 2 more weeks and the playoffs start. Which kind of gets into basketball season. They need to start those playoffs a little bit earlier. But anyway, Alabama. I don't sort of like it when they act like their quarterback's not going to play. Does that tend to sometimes have your team let down a little bit? They think, you ain't playing other guys no good. They're not going to be any good. Where if that kid who came in there and won the game for them against Auburn, your guys would be a little more up. Now, he could run out there and play, so you got to be ready for it. But is that sometimes maybe in your players' mind think it's going to be an easier game now?
I don't think it's good for you to know that. Really, I don't think it's kids are kids, and you have to be careful. Your captains and your coaches and all got to overcome that. But I would say to some degree in some places with some kids it's a little bit distracting. That's not going to be much to this. Scary.
Yeah, it's scary. I think Pittsburgh winning last night, they got to give Pittsburgh a little more
sure do.
Love in the polls. Right now, they're 19. So that would be a team that, quite honestly, right now should jump Alabama. If you're 7-0, now Alabama can catch them if they don't win, but they shouldn't be all the way down at 19. Now the new poll, and even at 6-0, I thought they deserved better than 19, and they put on a good performance last night. Syracuse team is actually pretty good, so there's another team that could be a thorn in your side if you're Alabama. Let's look at Pittsburgh's schedule the rest of the way out and see what we think they can do. So they're 7-0. Next week they're at SMU, so that'll be big. You got Virginia at home. They got Clemson at home, at Louisville, at Boston College. You see 2 losses in there?
Maybe.
I don't know. At SMU and Clemson and at Louisville.
A big article last night about Hugh Freeze not going to make it. Might not make it. They look at the SMU, that Lashley guy that was there with him. I don't like the way that SMU coaches the lick. I know it's just me. He lets this guy fight. I didn't
fight.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't see him fine Hugh Freeze. They went through all the fines they've had.
How much longer is Hugh Freeze going to get?
They're paying what's his face $15 million.
How much longer are they going to fool with Hugh Freeze? Another year? Give him another year?
Yeah, but they're paying the other guy Holtz, whatever just left.
Carson.
They pay him $15 million. They're still paying.
You think he's
they're
happy?
still paying what's his face for him.
You think Harson's happy they're losing?
Yeah.
You think? I bet.
And what's his name? What's his name? Jimmy,
Gus.
Yeah.
They're still paying Gus?
I think they're paying him some coins, too. Yeah, but everybody's got some coins.
Mm.
Yeah, if you just pass through there, you got some coins.
So they're paying Hugh Freeze, Brian Harsin, and Gus?
I think Gus is getting $1 or $2.
Wow.
I think. I'm not sure about that, but they went over, it was a real downtrodden article, and then they tried to smooth the article out a little bit better towards the end of it. That I don't know. Maybe.
Have y'all noticed? You guys noticed that Joe, now that LSU's winning, Joe's not calling?
I wonder how Joe's picking this game between LSU.
I don't know, but he was so hard on LSU and Brian Kelly, and now they're winning, and Joe's going AWOL on us. I don't know. All right, we'll get to Ron Higgins. We'll get to break. We'll find out about LSU. Alabama's got 1 week off after this Missouri game, and then they'll travel to Baton Rouge. A lot of people think that the playoffs will be on the line in that particular game if they can take care of business this weekend. So we'll find out how LSU's doing, and they travel to Texas A&M this weekend, which is a humongous game. Listen, Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC is the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. While we don't have any accidents or incidents to tell you about this morning, we do have some construction that may slow you down. Let's start here. Long-term road construction, McFarland Boulevard, both eastbound and westbound, between Jack Warner Parkway and Lurleen B. Wallace Boulevard. Also long-term road construction, Greensboro Avenue southbound at 26th Street. And we have some...
It's the Tide Tailgate Show on 95.3 The Bear and Tide 100.9 WTBC 1230. Roll Tide.
Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to Inside Locker. Pressure treated farm from Great Southern Wood brings you the 7 o'clock hour. Always remember, guys, if it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, you don't want it. When we talk LSU Tigers, they're really all SEC. We go up to Louisiana. He's with Shreveport Bossier Journal. Ron Higgins. Good morning, Ron. How are you, sir?
Hey, Ron. Good morning.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear us?
I can hear you. There we go. We got it.
There we go.
Okay, Ron, I tell our listeners, sort of tell our listeners what you told me last night about the coaching and the thoughts of LSU football with this coach.
I think all the noise about Brian Kelly's not a fit here and then what's wrong with Brian Kelly, there's nothing wrong with Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly has done a really good job of coaching this team. People go, he's taken the team and kind of brought them along. I mean, his team's basically his teams are never really quick out the gate. He kind of figures things out as they go along, and this team had some things to figure out. It did. He used the non-conference games really to kind of sort things out, figure out, especially defensively, the personnel where he wanted to play, who he wanted to play in different places. Plus, they had key injuries. They lost people for the year. Lost their best defensive lineman for the year early on. Lost Harold Perkins, a linebacker. It was the UCLA game, I believe, for the year. But he's kind of really solidified things. I mean, after they had their open date before the Ole Miss game, he just kind of sat down and looked at things and decided that this is our defensive personnel. This is who we're sticking in. We've done a bunch of different stuff, and we're going to, these are the guys we're going to go with. Offensively, it's never been really a problem. they're really good offensively. They're different than last year offensively. They don't, explosive, not as explosive. They can be, but they're playing what Kelly calls complementary football. You could say it's Brian Kelly football, really. I mean, it's offense and defense working together. It's offense, kind of grinding out drives, making sure the defense gets enough rest, take some clock off, but getting the ball in the end zone or scoring. It's more of a steady football. I mean, last year, they were, and they had the Heisman Trophy winner, and that's the only reason they won 10 games was because they had Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, and offensively, that's the only reason they won games. Defensively, they were awful. They were much better this year defensively, and they figured out the rotation, and because of that, they're playing much, much better.
The defensive coordinator from Missouri came in there, and you think he's improved him a great deal, tackling and all. And I know they lost with their best offensive player. I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean they put the tackling a whole bunch, and the whole thing is, I mean, you hate to say that you might lose your best defensive player in Harold Perkins Jr., but they could never figure out where to play him. And in doing so, it kind of jumbled up everything around him. And you hate to see a kid get hurt out for the year. And he's a good kid. He works hard. He's not a bad guy. When that happened, that really opened the door. They finally decided that they were able to play a kid named Whit Weeks, who's probably their best defensive player. Just a really one of those guys who just makes plays all over the field and run through a wall to get to a tackle. And since he's moved in the starting lineup, the last 3 games, LSU's had 20.5 tackles for loss, including 11.5 sacks, 15 quarterback hurries, 20 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, 3 recovered fumbles. I mean, really, the defense has kind of exploded with this kid from Georgia. He's his brother's also on the team. I think he's redshirting this year. He kind of got banged up, but it's changed a lot of stuff. I mean, defensively, and it's what LSU's needed defensively. It's all the offense. LSU's offense really needed was his defense, just to get some stops and create some turnovers and kind of just do their share. And that's what's happened. They've done their share, and and they're a lot like A&M. Both teams lost their season over, and both teams haven't lost since their season over. That's what makes this game so intriguing this weekend.
Yeah, you go back and look at that South Carolina win. That game was back and forth. That's a big win to win that game. So now it kind of sets up as a fan. If you look at it, Ron, you got A&M a week off, then you got Alabama. I'm not sure what the Alabama line will be. I think the A&M line's 1, but the rest of the games, I think, be pretty good favorites. Florida, Vanderbilt, and Oklahoma. So this is a two really big games. One tomorrow being really, really big. I don't think anybody would thought that Texas A&M and LSU would be undefeated at this point, playing for first place in the league. So just your thoughts about what's riding on this game tomorrow.
Well, this really sets you up for a good stretch run. Again, LSU never takes Alabama for granted, ever.
Sure.
No matter if Alabama's, not playing their best right now, it's still Alabama. LSU understands that. A&M's got down their stretch. It's I say easier, but they got to play at South Carolina next week, which is has become a tough place to play. But the LSU to understand this, right now, this puts them in a lot better position if they win this game. The fact is, both these teams have, a loss each, and so far, I don't think the SEC is going to probably get more than 4 teams in the playoffs. I think that'll probably be it. So you figure, we're off the bat, Georgia and Texas will be there. Then there's such a dogfight for those other 2 positions that this is push point. Tennessee, some other ones right there. So this is a fight for a playoff spot to get in a much better position down the stretch, and that's why it's so huge, and that's why there's so much intrigue to this game. I mean, then A&M started the week. I think they were a 2.5-point favorite, or 3-point favorite. Now it's down to 1. And the question of this game, I mean, at least from the standpoint, I mean, can A&M, they average in SEC play, they're second in the conference in SEC games in total defense and scoring in the total offense. So they got balance, but they run for 204 a game rushing in league play. And so the question is, can they run on LSU enough to kind of help their quarterback, Connor Wegman, who's been he hurt his shoulder in the opener against Notre Dame, really hadn't been himself yet. And so he's been kind of struggling, kind of off. And can they run the ball well enough to help him? Because LSU's side is, can they run the ball some, and can they pass protect for Garrett Musselmeyer, who's had a really, really good year?
Yeah.
As quarterback. I mean, this is not a surprise to people around here. They thought he'd be good. I just said LSU's different than last year. I mean, last year with Jaden Daniels, they could score anywhere, anytime. And this year they kind of pick you apart and probe you and move the ball that way. But they've discovered some stuff offensively. They found him a freshman running back from Texas that can play really well in Caden Durham. He's become their starting running back. And he's been really, really good. Explosive. Catches the ball well out of the backfield. And it's kind of interesting. The Durham's from Texas, and he's LSU's starting running back. And A&M's best running back is Levon Moss, and he's from Walker, Louisiana, right outside of Baton Rouge. So there's a trade-off there. And also, Mike Elko was Notre Dame's defensive coordinator for Kelly in 2017. So he and Brian know each other. So there you go. So a lot of intrigue in this game between the coaches who know each other and like each other.
Yeah, if LSU wins this game, obviously, and Alabama takes care of business, then I think that LSU's in much better shape than Alabama. But I think that next game with Alabama LSU will be for the playoff. The winning team could get in the playoffs because both their schedules are pretty manageable after that. How tough will that ticket be in Baton Rouge, Ron?
Well, it's already tough, man, because people know it's Alabama. It's already a hard ticket. It's already probably in the thousands trying to get a ticket for that game. They remember 2 years ago when the LSU won here on 2-point conversion. They remember last year in Tuscaloosa when Jaden Daniels got knocked out of the game. So they remember it. And they understand Alabama's hadn't played its best. It had looked like Alabama, especially defensively. But it's Alabama, and they know they're good no matter what. But in week to week with this league, I told someone the other day, this has been the most fun this year watching this league because it just started that day when Vanderbilt beat Alabama. I mean, something you thought would never happen. You thought hell would freeze over before that would happen. Well, when that happened, it just kind of opened your eyes that really anything can happen in this league this year, and it really has. That was the same day, that Arkansas beat Tennessee, and you thought, wow, this is going to be a crazy year. And you know what? I don't think it's a crazy year anymore. I think that's just the way it is in this league. I think as much as I'm not a fan of NIL to the point where you just go buy people whoever you want, anytime you want, there's not much loyalty left among players and schools they go to. It has created the parity that you've never seen before, where you feel like if you don't play good every weekend, not just great, but still play. If you show up and just play good, you can get beat.
If game day comes there and Nick Saban, of course, is on there, is that going to be interesting for him?
How will they treat him in Baton Rouge, Ron?
Yeah.
I think they would. I think there'd be some who boo him, and I think as time's gone on, they've learned to appreciate him. the LSU fans who really know the program understand this program would have been on the toilet if Nick hadn't come along in 2000 and kind of pulled it out of the ordinary and got some things done facility-wise to put it on a championship level and changed all the attitude in his 5 years here. And I think the people, I mean, we elected him to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame like 2-3 years ago. And we haven't been able to induct him yet because he's been still busy coaching, where we're still trying to get him to come here for it. And I'm the one who called him and broke the news to him, and he was you could tell he was touched and shocked at the same time. But I think as time has gone on, people have more appreciation for him, and they don't have to play him anymore, so they like him a lot better. And to me, it's also been one of the delights of this football season of watching Nick Saban on TV, just kind of exhale and live life and actually live. This is, I can still be part of football. This is fun. I kind of like this. This is. And he's been great on TV. He's been tremendous, and I'm not. The people who know Nick Saban are happy for him because they understand that they always knew under there that exterior he had a personality that could kind of come out and be funny, and it's been fun to watch him.
We're going through some stuff here in Tuscaloosa, of course, because they've dropped 2 games, so now everybody's comparing the discipline style between Kalen DeBoer and Nick Saban, all the things that, Saban wouldn't have tolerated this. Now, obviously, he was not at LSU near as long as he was at Alabama, but Les Miles came in after Nick Saban. The first year or two, was there a lot of that going on there, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, Alabama fans are a lot like LSU fans in this sense. When they see a player screw up on the field, they want to see accountability immediately. They want their head coach to get the off the field and get in his face and let him know he screwed up. And that's what LSU fans loved about Nick. That's what they didn't like about Les. They didn't like for better or for worse, the Mr. Rogers neighborhood approach.
And that's kind of how DeBoer's perceived, right? It's kind of the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they went from a guy who was perceived as a Philip Hun to Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
And because of that, Alabama a lot of times looks like they're on vacation playing. And just, they look soft. And that's not how Alabama's supposed to be. You don't expect that from Alabama. You just don't expect that. You expect them to be soft, and because their head coach is hard, supposed to be hard and into them. Every coach has a different style, and I mean, look, a few people can rival Nick's style, and as you look, everybody knew. Look, just like Ray Perkins trying to follow the bear. It's so tough to follow the guy that great, especially if your style's different. And I mean, if he can survive this year, and now he will. I mean, it's just silly to think he won't. I mean, they're going to have growing pains, but it's one of those things where in year 2, some of the same stuff that's happened this year can't happen. It's a lot shorter rope now for coaches to take over big programs. If you take up a really good program and it goes down a lot in a year and a half, or you can't maintain it, or you let it slip a little bit and you don't get it back, you have problems. Here at LSU, I mean, some people, didn't like Kelly in the beginning because he was just a different type cat than Orgeron, which was, but Brian Kelly is a really good football coach, and he reminds me of Nick a lot in the sense that they're very comfortable in their own skin, and they have a system, and they know what they're doing, and they're able to adapt to things, and when there's some changes to be made, they'll make changes, like, get rid of a whole defensive staff. That was a really bold move. I mean, we thought we'd get rid of the coordinator, not the whole staff, and you get rid of the whole staff, and it turned out to be the best thing they've done, because they've hired a really good teaching staff and got a bunch of really good recruiters. But he made that decision. But yeah, the whole, from afar, all the teams that were getting beat by Alabama have exhaled because Nick Saban's not on the sideline. They see him, this guy on TV, and he's like a nice guy. Even when he gets mad, he looks like a nice guy. When Nick got mad, you knew he wasn't a nice guy. You could feel Nick's anger through the TV screen. But for LSU fans, that's what they loved about him, because they're as passionate as Nick is, or Nick was. So when somebody screwed up, they wanted right then, God, chew his butt out.
That's right.
And you see Nick do it, and that's why they loved him. I think that's what hurt him so much when he left, because they felt like, God, this guy coaches like we feel. It's like, I mean, you don't want to take a point.
It's so funny you say that. They had I can't remember what game, but they had a call, it was a bad call, and DeBoer went nuts, and the fans loved it. I mean, they were going crazy over him just really chewing an official out. It made them feel like he I don't know. You're right. They want to see a guy just chew a guy out for mistakes and stuff. It makes them feel better. and that happened in that instance when Coach did go after an official, but I haven't seen him go after a player like maybe you were saying.
Yeah. And Nick used to do that. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. And especially, I mean, I know people, especially if sometimes a coach is, critical post game of a player, or he'll hit at it, that people will go, well, he threw a player under the bus. Well, you know what? That player's getting now paid to ride that bus. And if you're getting paid, it's a job to me. And if you're not doing the job, you're open to criticism. I think the NIL has changed the whole world, the way you look at things.
Has he maintained the recruiting in Louisiana?
Yeah.
And has he been able to go into Texas and get somebody that everybody else wants?
Yeah. Well, he got the Caden Durham kid out of Texas. He's the best running back in Texas. Best running back in Texas last year. He got him. He stole him from A&M in Oklahoma. Yeah. And he's like, and next year's recruit class, they're like third or fourth in the nation and committed people. Got the number one quarterback in the nation committed still. They got three other players in different positions. They're best in the nation committed. He's done a great job. He's got a really good recruiting staff. He's got some veterans who know how to go recruit people, especially on the offensive, defensive lines. He's built this team a lot like he built his Notre Dame teams. He wants them, he wants them to have really good line play and a really good tight end that can catch the ball. But he's also discovered down here that all the good athletes you can get at the skill positions, and so I think that's one reason he wanted to come here, because he knew the South had great skill position players, easier to recruit there than Notre Dame, and so he's built this thing. Look, this is year 3 of this guy. He's won 10 games each the first couple of years. The season openers have been problems, but they've played people in season openers. They haven't had easy games in season openers. So I think for LSU fans' standpoint is like Kelly's never hidden the problems they have. He's never sugarcoated stuff. If there's been a problem in special teams, like they were awful for the first few in special teams, he fixed it finally. Defensively had problems. They were awful. He never hit that. He said, yeah, and he fixed that. I think the fact he doesn't sugarcoat stuff, and if LSU fans see there's a problem in an area, he's not going to run and hide from it. He said, yeah, we do have problems here. That's something we got to fix, and we were going to fix it. And he goes out and does it. I think that's why That's why they like him more than they used to. It's an element of LSU fans. All the ones that loved Ed Orgeron, they can love it. That's fine. He's from Louisiana, but Ed didn't know how to build a program and maintain it. This guy's trying to build a program for the long run. And again, I'll go back and point out one more thing. When he took over this program, it had 38 players on scholarship. That was it. And when he took it over, because they got bankrupt because guys under Orgeron quit or transferred or went elsewhere. He's built it back up, and but we'll see what happens this week. But they're in position. That's all. They just want to be in position and do something.
Unfortunately, Barry and I don't have time to talk about the lady basketball coach.
No.
Oh, she's ready to roll, baby. She got a whole new crop of people. She didn't have Angel Reese on her team now.
Thank God.
A little more cohesion.
She's got $1 million dressing room, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Be sure to tell Dale Brown about that.
Dale knows.
Ron, tell everybody where they can find you.
Go to ShreveportJournal.com. No, sorry, ShreveportBossierJournal.com. Sorry, ShreveportBossierJournal.com. That's a free website. The Ron Higgins, my website, and on Twitter at Ron Higg, RONHIGG.
It should be exciting couple weeks.
Yeah, great job. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you.
Thank you. All right, we want to thank Yellowwood. They made this 7 o'clock hour possible. Always remember, guys, if it doesn't have that yellow tag on it, you don't want it. All right, phone lines be open 205-342-99040. Listen to Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Good morning. We have some long-term road construction, Greensboro Avenue southbound at 26th Street. Also, we have some long-term road construction, 2059 eastbound between the Western Bypass and McFarland Boulevard. And there is some long-term...
989845. 800-398-9845. That's 800-398-9845.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monty Bolaños.
The wait is over because Game 1 of the World Series is here. The Dodgers will be hosting the Yankees with the first pitch set for 8 Eastern from L.A. Garrett Cole will be on the mound for New York. Jack Flaherty will be on the mound for L.A. In the NFL, the Rams defeated the Vikings 30-20. Matthew Stafford, 279 yards and 4 touchdowns in the air in the win. Justin Jefferson had 8 catches for 115 yards in the loss. In the NBA, the Timberwolves edged the Kings in Sacramento 117-115, and the Thunder defeated the Nuggets 102-87. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led the way with 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. Jason Tatum had a double-double, 25 points and 11 rebounds as the Celtics outscored the Wizards.
These changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather stays unseasonably warm today. Mostly sunny with a high at 86. Fair tonight, the low 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, the high 84. Sunday, partly sunny, a small chance of a shower. Sunday's high at 80. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 55 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Inside the locker room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the locker room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to the second hour of Inside the Locker Room. Phone lines are wide open. We got Cowboy holding, but several lines still open, 205-342-9904. As we get started in the 8 o'clock hour, we want to thank Andrew Knipper Allstate Insurance Agent Andrew Knifer out at 4705 McFarland Boulevard, Suite 3 over in Northport. Look for Home Life Auto. Whenever you need to use your insurance, Andrew's perfect. He's been in this community since 2002. He knows exactly where to send you. 205-722-9201. Good hands with Allstate and Andrew Knifer. All right. Got an app message here. This is one of the most overrated, not overrated. I just don't like this wording. And it's from SLC Bama Girl. I mean, they're fine. How many years has Brian Kelly been at LSU? This is his third. With no national championship. So he's been there 2. He's in 3 now. And, we'll see. I don't think he'll win the national championship. He could get in play. And how many years as a D1 head coach before that with no national championship? He was at Cincinnati from 2006 to 2009 and Notre Dame from 2010 to 2021.
How do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, there's only one team that wins. I just don't think you judge a coach on whether he's won the national championship.
Of course you don't.
I mean, it's hard to win a national. It's only one team wins the national championship. How many coaches are currently even coaching that have won a national championship? Kirby Smart and obviously Dabo come to mind, but there's not a ton even out there still coaching. So I think that when you say a national championship, how many? When you judge somebody on that, that's not fair, right?
No.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the Yellowwood hotline and get Cowboy in. Good morning, Cowboy.
Good morning, Barry and Coach. Now, who was that lady with that message there? Because she needs to go back and do her homework. I tell you what, all the people that want to make fun of Brian Kelly, they better go back and do their homework, because Brian Kelly started at the lowest levels of football. He won like 3 national championships in Division II up there in Florence. I remember watching him play in the early 2000s.
Grand Valley State.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And Ron Higgins, that was a great interview, Coach. Thank you for having him on. He's insightful. He's what journalism used to be about. I really appreciate that.
Enjoyed it. Yeah, good.
And he was stating great info and facts. If people would listen to him, he told you a lot in that interview you guys had with him. I'm going to go back and listen to that one later today on your podcast, because that's great. And I'm going to tell all these Alabama guys that are giving me a hard time right now, they need to go listen to what Ron Higgins had to say.
Well, I thought it was interesting, what he said about Les Miles. Les Miles and Kalen DeBoer kind of have they're not the same people, but the same type of personality. They're not a get in your face kind of guy, and that he dealt with some stuff there early on at LSU. Probably was happy to hear. I think people just need to back up and give Kalen DeBoer and his staff a chance. Don't judge him, quarter to quarter, game to game, and week to week.
Yeah. Well, I like what he said that, Brian Kelly's a lot like Nick in some ways. I always thought, before Brian Kelly went to Notre Dame, LSU, he'd be a good guy to follow Nick. Now, I know a lot of guys are going to give me a hard time about saying that because they don't like him or whatever. But I tell you, the guy can coach football. You don't win at all the levels he's won at and not be a good football coach. And when he went to LSU, it was a mess after Ed Orgeron. Brian's telling the truth.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great interview there. I really enjoyed that. I heard y'all talking yesterday about Nate Oates going to have to redshirt some guys probably. How's he going to keep all those guys happy?
Well,
he got a guy on the Coach Happy down there that keeps all of them happy or stuff.
You got the one kid, Youngblood, transfer from South Florida. It's out till December. But I think he was just saying they may have to look at, because there's no way to play all these guys. So, it would be hard to get the guy to agree. I mean, not to have to get him to agree to it, but kids don't generally understand why. But then if you play the season, you don't redshirt them and they're not playing, they're going to be frustrated. So I think it would make his job easier if there was a couple guys that redshirt. Now, who that will be, I have no earthly idea.
I got you. Well, Coach, he's really built programs with not guys that are hot shot recruits. Kevin Sampson, and I know some people think maybe he kind of coaches like you coach, intense and some of the same styles, and you guys could get players that make something good out of them, great players that necessarily everybody didn't see before they came in your program, and redshirting players like Sampson does. What is the key to his success in today's basketball world?
Well, I think he's got an athletic director that hired him, and I think that's important when the athletic director hires you. The money is there to get if the athletic director is willing to help you. And I think he has been, and I think Nate's done a good job of getting it himself.
He's talking about Kelvin, not Nate.
Oh,
Kelvin
I'm sorry.
Sampson.
Oh, I thought you.
Kelvin Sampson.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. Kelvin and I played golf together. He's a left-handed player a lot when I was in Little Rock. Kelvin is kind of a old style, not much food is kind of guy. That's what happens to you when you play defense. When you defensive oriented more with your head coach and your program, you're just a little bit more old style, tougher. Guys play harder, maybe understand the give and take of things. So I don't know about that either. Barry can tell you more about that than I can, but I think that's the kind of guy he is, and he's succeeded being in that way.
Yeah. I got a guy that works there, and he says he's just relentless every day. I mean, he brings it, and they work on defense constantly, and they're really difficult to score on.
Well, he's always good, and then he gets in the NCAA tournament and has a key player get hurt on him every time. You know that happens to him. Maybe he can get over the hump one of these days and win one, because I tell you, he's consistently in the top teams in the country here the last 5 or 6 years, and he did it at Oklahoma, and then he went to Indiana and all those problems. But he's just a great basketball coach, teacher of the game. That's for sure. Yeah, and he started the hard way, up there at Montana Tech. He didn't start in the silver spoon, coaching circles. He worked his way up.
Yeah, I think he's the best coach in college basketball. I just think he is. So, anyway, thank you, Cowboy. Great call.
Thanks, Cowboy.
All right, be good, guys. Good time. Have a good weekend.
Yep. All right.
That blue plate hit.
Yeah. Tonight, you'll know. Got another app message.
Got a white out.
Another map message here from Johnny G. He says, Barry, if we didn't judge coaches day to day, you would be out of a job. Really? Really? So that's what our job is, to judge coaches day to day. I think you have to, you don't decide what somebody is day to day. You got to give them
I don't think you judge them. Come to a judgment.
Day to day. No, sometimes a guy just has a bad day, or, but I think over a couple of years, then you start to see there's certain trends that take place. But if you judge people day to day, we're going to all be in trouble, to be honest with you. All right, we'll take the break here. What is Coach Smith's walk-up music, Chase?
Yeah, it is Vern Godson, Chiseled in Stone.
Oh, well, we'll get to hear that when we get back from break. You listen to Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM. WTBC is the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We have some long-term road construction, Greensboro Avenue, southbound at 26th Street. Also long-term road construction, McFarland Boulevard, both eastbound and westbound, between Jack Warner Parkway and Lurleen B. Wallace Boulevard.
And Fridays at the Free, every Friday during football season with Tide 100.9 and Innisfree Irish Pub, located at 1925 University Boulevard, downtown.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Guthrie's. America's original chicken finger restaurant is now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On yesterday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we were joined by SEC Nation host Laura Rutledge.
It's a different vibe, right? Having covered many Nick Saban-led Alabama teams over the years, it's definitely a different vibe. And I think that part is probably a little bit hard for fans, too, who are used to the intensity and the attention to detail that Nick Saban has. And it's not that Coach DeBoer doesn't have that attention to detail, because I believe he does. I do still firmly believe he's the right person for the job, and there's a lot of positive about him, but he's just a different person than Coach Saban. There's no other Coach Saban. I think we all wish, we could clone him and have him on TV and also have him coaching still, but it's very different.
I'll have more in a moment.
Founded in Haleyville, Alabama in 1965 by Hal and Melissa Guthrie, Guthrie's was America's first chicken finger restaurant. Guthrie still uses the family's original Southern fried chicken recipe in every chicken finger they serve. Fresh, hot, and fast. Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers has been Alabama owned and operated since 1965, and Guthrie's is still growing strong. Come see us soon. Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant, and now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
We've got you covered for Alabama football on Saturday against Missouri. Our radio start time is 11:30 across the network with kickoff at 2:30 p.m. You can listen across the radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as watch the Yay Alabama Booth Cam on all CTSN social media platforms. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
You're listening to Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry, only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
You don't know about me or how long nights can be till you live through the story.
Wow, that's some real music there. So Coach Sonny Smith brought that to the show. And Coach Smith, Chase, NABC District 6 League Coach of the Year, Ohio Valley Coach of the Year, two-time SEC Coach of the Year, CAA Coach of the Year, the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. The only thing he's mad about, that he wasn't still bootlegging up in Tennessee after the Volunteers took down the Crimson Tide. Y'all could have sold some liquor up there this weekend, Coach.
He was in Cub Scouts, too.
Cub Scouts. He was a leader of the Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I wasn't a leader. My brother was a leader because he was the only one that hadn't been to jail yet.
You were a follower.
Yeah, as a follower. I was a part of the group.
I could have sold some Jack Daniels up there Saturday night. They were happy up in Tennessee, weren't they, Coach?
Yeah. East Tennessee, this might sound a little crazy. East Tennessee never did jump on the University of Tennessee like I always thought they should, because they always had those people there in North Carolina joining the state, and Virginia, where you had a lot of pullers for the University of Virginia, Virginia Tech, and North Carolina, and Wake Forest. I think they took a lot of the audience away from the people there in Carter County and East Tennessee, really.
Yeah.
All your gummers, they talk about that Tennessee-Alabama game a lot when y'all eat?
Not as much as you would think. It used to be talked about a lot bigger, but the guys that I would spend more time cleaning their teeth and gums than they do they're talking about football. But they all got old like me.
Well, at least y'all don't need two.
They're looking to find a new dentist.
You don't need toothpicks.
You don't sell many toothpicks with guys I run with.
Go ahead, Beck.
What are those guys you eat with and play tennis with saying about Hugh Freeze and this Auburn football? 0-4 currently in the SEC, Coach. They can't be happy.
He's criticized less than I ever thought that he would be.
Really?
I thought they would be coming down on him hard and comparing him to Alabama, which is one of the big comparisons, as you well know. I don't see that and don't hear that. Of course, since I got older, I don't get out as much either. So, but I imagine it's there among the people. But Hugh Freeze, if somebody said, is he solid in his job. Like I say, I haven't seen any indicators of where he's not solid, but I haven't seen any where he is either. You know, it's almost like, well, he's here. You know, that type of attitude. Yeah. I don't think he's extremely popular, and I don't think he's extremely hated. I think it's just we're living with him type of thing. Maybe totally just the opposite of that, being a person that's not out among the public like I used to be.
Yeah.
The basketball team is going to open up against ACC at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know one thing. You didn't make that schedule for sure.
Oh, no, that Duke, I ain't making no going to no Duke.
Oh no, you wouldn't go. You wouldn't even pass through the basketball.
I wouldn't even pass by there. No.
No, me either. Me either. I got my job through Duke. I of course, you know that story, but that's how I got my job. The Duke coach heard me speak at the Virginia High School Clinic. Said, "You come work my camp." Said, "I'll get you a college job." Well, I worked in about 4 years, and he ain't got me no college job. I walked into his camp. I walked into his office, and I said, "Coach Booth, you said if I come work in your camp, you get me a job." He said, "Well, you haven't asked." I said, "Well, I'm asking." He reached in his drawer and pulled off things and said, "Call this number." And I called it, and his whim, and he hired me.
Really?
That's a true story. The way it happened. He was some coach. Dick Booth, he was a man.
Yeah, he really was.
You never asked.
Never asked. That's the word. That's the exact words he used. He said, "You never ask." And I learned a lesson. I learned that from William. Got to ask.
Did you like William and Mary? Could you spell both of them?
Well, they were. It's too big a job for me. Is that one of the best academic schools in the country, and I got by on cheating, to get through school, and it was a little bit different for me to go out and sell something as highly academically known and not as athletically known. But we had the head football coach. I know I've told you this before, Wimp, but Lou Holtz was a football coach. Yeah. And I learned so much from just listening to him, watching him. You talk about a man that could sell. He could sell. He was a salesman if I've ever seen one. I don't know if the name Lou Holtz.
Barry was with him, Sonny.
Yeah, did he ever teach you any magic tricks?
Oh, yeah, he did. He when we had alumni meetings, he would do.
How did he do that trick where he tore the newspaper up? He'd tear it up, and then it would be a newspaper again. How did he do that, Coach?
I don't know. I don't have enough memory. He wouldn't be tearing my newspaper. I couldn't afford one.
He'd tear the newspaper up, and then right there in front of you, it would be the newspaper again. It wouldn't be torn up. I never had figured out how he did that.
Well,
maybe you could help me out.
He was a hell of a football coach, and I thought, anybody that could win with Mary had to be a hell of a football coach. Then the thing about it, I look around, and 3 of the guys that was on his staff became football coaches as head football coaches or NFL coaches, assistant coaches. So evidently he hired the right people, and evidently they did real well because of his teaching.
He said he had a guy on his team that was so slow he got in a race with a pregnant woman and came in third.
Yeah, you talk about a guy that was funny now.
Yeah.
If I learned one thing from him, get you some jokes and be funny, because he certainly was that.
Yeah, he talked about South Carolina's kicker. This may have been true, said that he got nervous when he watched him kick. He said, "Coach, you just make me nervous." He said, "Well, we got a problem then, because I plan on being at most of the games." So he was an intimidating guy. We would go play golf, and those guys would get him, if he putted it, if it was within 20 feet, they'd tell him to pick it up. And he'd pick that thing up, too. So,
he was well liked. And I think he was well liked a lot because of his the way he approached people and the things he would say and how funny he was and the magic tricks and all that. I think he's the kind of guy who'd hold on a job a little bit longer than most people.
Yeah.
How old would he be now, Barry?
He's still living.
I know. How old would he be now? How old is he now?
He's probably.
I'm gonna look him up.
I believe he might have been a hair older than me, so he's pretty close to 90.
Lou Holtz. Let's see. Wikipedia would tell us, wouldn't it, Coach? Wikipedia.
I never heard of him. How's he doing these days?
Lou Holtz is
Lou Wick holding in there.
Lou Holtz is 87.
87. Yeah. Oh, I got him a couple of years.
Yeah, born on January 6th, 1937, in West Virginia.
I will say this: he was a hell of a football coach. I don't know if he ever got that credit. Of course, he made it all the way to the pros, as you know, and coached in a number of different schools. And I could see that he could really sell a program. So he must have been a hell of a recruiter.
Yeah. Any of your former assistants you keep up with that I know?
Mac McCarthy still alive.
How's he doing?
He's doing good. He does basketball, women's basketball some for the ACC and some for the those smaller conferences up there around the Washington and Virginia area and North Carolina area. He does a ton of games. He's doing a women's game and a men's game somewhere every night. He's made a lot of money doing being a color analyst. Mac McCarthy was a hell of a basketball coach.
Yeah, who was that? Who was the minority guy that worked for you so long? Did you swap? You and Durham swapped him.
Tavester T.
Yeah. Tavester Anderson. Tavester's still alive and is doing well. Tavester Anderson was an outstanding coach because he could really recruit the state of Georgia because he's had so much success in the Atlanta area. He did good for us at Auburn.
Yeah,
and he did good. You know, he became a head coach. He actually coached at Murray State at one time.
Yeah. He and I were, when I was at Georgia as a GA, he was an assistant there. Great. I love Tavester Anderson.
Well, he's a tremendous person as well as being an excellent assistant and head coach.
Coach, the fans here in Tuscaloosa, they're upset with Kalen DeBoer that he doesn't chew out players enough and not fiery enough, but he's just being who he is. You got to give people time, right? How long does it take to get in? You do have a lot of jobs. How long does it take to get in there and really learn that job, the ins and outs of it, where to recruit, how to handle the players, who you can rely on?
Well, you'll never.
Go ahead.
Barry, you'll never get as long as you need at a place like Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama's a place so used to success that they're not going to wait. They're not. Mediocrity is not a part of the program. It's got to be above that. And I don't know how he's standing with them right now, but I would say he needs to win big to stay in good with the people.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think I asked you this before. Why did the point guard? Did you say the point guard didn't think he got enough shots at Auburn? That's the reason he transferred to Alabama.
I don't know why he transferred. I think maybe he thought he wasn't getting enough shots, and maybe that was it. But there never was a definite answer to why he left. You know, is somebody going to beat him out? He could easily have been beat out. He's short, you know. But he had good ball skills, and he could shoot the ball. But he was a guy that needed to shoot. And, you know, playing as short as he was, he didn't look much like a two-guard, for instance, or a big guard.
Yeah.
And so but he did need shots to play. And I don't know if that fit into Bruce Pearl's thinking or it didn't fit in. That he wasn't getting enough shot in his thinking. I'm not sure why he left.
Well, in their first exhibition game against Wake Forest, Coach, let me tell you exactly how many shots he got. He put up 12 threes, and he made 5 of them. He was a leading scorer, got 20 points. He was 7 of 15 from the floor, 5 of 12 from 3, 20 points and 6 assists. The leading scorer.
Well, he must have known what his abilities was.
Yeah,
because he wasn't liking the number of shots he was able to take at Auburn.
Yeah, so he.
Now that was kind of common knowledge. I don't know so much if it was coming from him or from people that he had talked to that that he just felt like he wasn't getting to do what he wanted to do. He was like a point guard playing a second guard.
Well, Nate Oates will let you shoot it, and I'm sure he will. And so,
and NASCAR stuff, Sonny.
No, NASCAR. You don't hear as much about NASCAR as you used to, and I don't understand that. NASCAR is still filling the stands, still been very competitive in running, but the big thing in NASCAR right now is consistent winners. You don't have the guys that dominate the sport like a Bobby Allison, like a Dale Earnhardt. You don't have the dominators like you got a different winner almost every week, and you'll have guys running up front that don't have the reputation. Now, why that is happening, I cannot answer that, but I think NASCAR needs to have the big stars like a Dale Earnhardt type of guy to push it over the top. Joey Logano's probably winning more than anybody right now from a standpoint of popularity, and he's a great driver. And it's you can't say NASCAR is running behind. NASCAR runs behind, I think, in publicity. That's the only thing. But when you go, you see the attendance at tracks, and you see the number of cars that are making it with high sponsorships, you know that NASCAR is healthy and is doing really good. Tony Stewart is a guy that owns the team and is now trying to sell his team, and evidently it makes the reason I say that is it probably is very difficult to get major sponsors for them now, and you got to have them to run the tracks that they do.
All right, season's getting winding down pretty soon. You guys speaking anywhere before the Alabama-Auburn game this year?
We always speak at the. I don't know. Are we speaking at the Huntsville Quarterback Club or not? They can't.
Who's y'all's agent?
We ain't got one.
Wimp's our agent, so if we're not getting the job done,
your agent doesn't know if you got a speaking engagement. You need to.
What it is, it's one of those things where
Tuesday before the Alabama-Auburn football game.
They hadn't called y'all yet?
No, they will though.
Let me give y'all a little secret. I think they found somebody else.
I think they did.
Barry, they can't find anybody else better than us.
Sonny,
they might find somebody that wants less money.
I think they may have found.
Sonny tells the same jokes.
I think they may have found somebody else. I don't want to be the one to tell you that.
Let this be known on your show that I have a new bunch of jokes. I'm ready for it.
You got new ones?
Well, I had to tell the old ones because if I forgot anything, we would tell me what the punchline.
You got a new one you could tell us?
No, I ain't telling you no jokes. Y'all don't give me enough billing coming on to the show. You don't put it out there and say Sonny's on his way, huh?
We got Vern Gostin playing Vern Gostin music to get you on.
It's like that guy.
I was wondering why I felt so good today when I heard this thing come on. Was that Vern? Vern has always been my favorite.
It's like that guy. Y'all are like that guy.
They took me in Vern's dressing room to introduce me to my Dave They took me in Vern Goslin's dressing room to introduce me to him. He said, "Oh, I know who this guy is. He's a good coach. He'd never heard of me." Hey, I love Vern Goslin so much. I'd have got down on my knees and kissed his shoes.
Chase, they're like that guy that keeps texting that girl and calling, and she's not texting back, and they can't understand why. She's moved on.
Back,
just like Huntsville has moved on.
30 years we've been doing that gig. 30
I imagine they're trying to get our numbers now to get us back. I'm gonna watch my phone.
Y'all were wondering if they lost your number.
They probably have. Barry, you just don't know the impact that Wimp and I have on that city when we're coming to town.
Really?
Because I tell you what, every neighborhood will meet us because Wimp will get lost on the way trying to find the golf course.
Yeah.
We ain't never found that thing 2 times.
No, we ain't found it. And the guy at the gate won't let us in.
Where do they do it?
That's right.
Where do they do it?
That's right. He won't let us in.
The guy at the top of the mountain up there by turn right at Walmart or somewhere.
Is there a name? Yes. Does this place have a name where they live?
Yeah, it's the country club up there.
It's a country club, but we couldn't find it.
Is it a private club or semi-private?
Oh, it's private.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Huntsville Country Club?
Yeah.
We're big up there.
30-something years. We've been going that thing. That's the truth. Over 30 years.
And never told the same joke twice.
No.
It ain't going to be 31. It doesn't sound right. So.
I think it's over.
Barry turned into a comedian. He surely didn't learn that from you.
How's Jan doing, Sonny?
Not good.
Not
good.
Well, sorry.
Not good. Sorry. I can't. I have to answer it halfway through.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Sir.
Not good.
I understand.
Well, Coach,
all right,
we appreciate
you. Have you on again. You're bored as ever.
You're got to go to Kentucky. So
Wimp said I was boring as ever. I love that.
No parking this weekend. You can have it off. Y'all are at Kentucky.
Hey.
Yeah.
So. I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the way I do the park.
There ain't going to be no cars.
Be no cars this weekend.
You don't like our football coach? I'm going to put that out on the next.
And if they lose this weekend, you ain't going to have to worry about parking the next home game either.
That's right. Tommy Tuberville will come park.
Yeah.
Hey, next time I'm on your show, I'm going to call collect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, ain't be no money in parking at Auburn this year, Chase. You can park where you park right up by the stadium if you want to. All right, let's talk about Bryant Bank before we get to break.
Well, Bryant Bank, locations in Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Columbiana, South Alabama, wherever it might be. 2005, I think they opened up in Tuscaloosa. Our viewing and listening audience is right close to Bryant Bank. I think you'll enjoy going by there and visiting with the people that run the bank. Open up an account, whether it be private or whether it be business. And I think that you'll find that Bryant Bank will do everything they possibly can to do a good job for you. They're going to protect your money. You'll be darn sure that money that's saved and put in there will be saved and looked after for you, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the banking business day and time. So go by Bryant Bank and tell them you heard it on Inside the Locker Room and you want to open up an account.
All right, 247's got all the playoff projection. Am I missing something? They got Alabama's not in it. Number 10 in their playoff prediction is Wisconsin. Has Wisconsin been winning? What's Wisconsin's record? Anybody know? Wisconsin.
I don't.
Oh, that's pitiful. All right, we'll take this break up at the phone lines 205-342-9904. Maybe play a little bit of that Jamarcus Shepard, too. He had to say. He didn't like y'all saying that Ryan Williams missed that block. He didn't like that from Greg McElroy. It's a tie 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, we don't have any accidents or incidents to tell you about. We have long-term road construction, Greensboro Avenue southbound at 26th Street. And we have some long-term road construction, McFarland Boulevard, both eastbound and westbound. That's between Jack Warner Parkway and Lurleen B. Wallace Boulevard.
It's the Tide Tailgate Show on 95.3 The Bear and Tide 100.9 WTBC 1230. Roll Tide.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather stays unseasonably warm today. Mostly sunny with a high at 86. Fair tonight, the low 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, the high 84. Sunday, partly sunny, a small chance of a shower. Sunday's high at 80. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 57 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Where the season never ends. This is your home of Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker Room. Toyota Camry, 3.99% APR for 36 months out at Tuscaloosa Toyota. And get that RAV4, 3.99 as well. The Toyota Highlander, they got that Grand Highlander. You can lease that for as low as $439 a month for 36 months. These Highlanders are absolutely beautiful cars. So swing by Skyline Boulevard. Got plenty of trucks, cars. They got pre-owned, which you can go to the website, look at the pre-owned inventory. You can schedule a service at the website, rent a Toyota. But all done right there on Skyland Boulevard at Tuscaloosa Toyota. All right, I read that wrong, guys. It's not Wisconsin. They had their graphics on 246. It's Indiana. So they have, Dad, their playoff projection. Number 9 seed, or the buys for them are Oregon's going to be number 1, Georgia number 2, Ohio State 3, BYU. They got BYU winning the Big 12 and getting in. So those will be the 4 highest seeds. They've got first round number 9, Notre Dame traveling to Penn State. Boise State will travel to Texas. Indiana will travel to Miami. And they have Texas A&M traveling to Ohio State. And so they also have, Georgia, Miami, yeah. So they had Clemson, I'm sorry, is the 3 seed. Georgia's the 2. Oregon is the 1. And so we'll see with BYU. But they got Georgia knocking off Oregon to win the national championship. So I don't know. Any thoughts about that? You think Texas? So you got Georgia, Texas A&M, no Tennessee, no Alabama, only 3 teams from the SEC in the college football playoff. Will the SEC people be screaming if that's the case? Did we lose him? Is he gone? All right, he's gone. He's off. So that would be, would you be satisfied? Would you be frustrated if the SEC only got 3 teams in? And that's what 247 is predicting there. So,
Chase?
There we go. You're on. I can hear you.
My question, and you kind of, he didn't have me on. If Alabama were to run the table, would Tennessee and Alabama both get in? Or neither one?
If Alabama ran the table, what's Tennessee going to do?
Well, Tennessee's beating Alabama.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Let's say they both ran the table. Would they both get in?
Yeah, if they both ran the table, they would. But that means Tennessee would beat Georgia in that scenario. So Tennessee's schedule, let's look at it real fast here. Tennessee still has to take on Kentucky at home, Mississippi State at home, at Georgia, UTEP at home, and then at Vanderbilt. So if they run the table there, of course they'd be in. If they lose to Georgia, would they still be in? It's all going to, I tell you what, next Tuesday, a week from Tuesday when the first poll comes out, it's going to be kind of interesting to see where they have these teams ranked because.
Well, who's in besides the SEC besides Texas and Georgia?
According to 247, they think Texas A&M, so they must be thinking A&M is going to knock off LSU over the weekend. Yeah. They've got Texas, Georgia, and Texas A&M. Now, Texas A&M and Texas play at the end of the year. There's a scenario out there where there's like 4 or 5 teams could be 6-2 in the SEC, and then it comes down to all the different tiebreakers as to who actually gets to Atlanta.
Boy, there's going to be some arguments. Woo.
Yeah, so it's just you beat each other up, and then so the schedules aren't balanced. So there's going to be some frustration with that. So I need Ole Miss to lose another game, so my guy Jason will become my new. His people will be doing my yard. Now he's claiming we don't start that till 2025. I thought as soon as could Oklahoma knock off Ole Miss this weekend, where I can go and get that 3rd loss in there. Is that possible?
No.
Chase, Oklahoma can't beat. They're 20-point underdog.
No.
Is Ole Miss going to beat Georgia?
No.
All right, so there it is. So that's got to have them lose.
You said Oklahoma and Ole Miss.
Well, I just need them to lose one more game, and the first opportunity for them to lose the 3rd game is this weekend against Oklahoma.
They can't do it.
Oklahoma can't do it, so he won't. He won't be responsible for my lawn starting Sunday.
No.
Well, he's sweating
Jenny
it.
cut it.
Huh?
Jenny cut it.
I saw the funniest thing the other day. The guy's wife said, when you get through cutting the grass, we need to talk. And so they showed him out there cutting the grass, and he had some fingernail clippers, clipping one little piece of grass at a time. We're going to have to talk.
Yeah,
when you get through cutting the grass, so he was using fingernail clippers to cut the grass. Chase, see how that works? All right, Jamarcus Shepard. Play what he said about the Greg McElroy. I don't know if he used Greg McElroy, but about Ryan Williams missing that block. Chase, could you play that for me? All right, go ahead. I kind of just threw that at you like fast. Let's put the pressure on Chase. He's putting up a finger. Does that mean we don't have it?
Yeah, we have it. Let me get up 1 second.
Okay. You've got him doing all kind of things. What do you like these assistants talking to the media, Dave?
Huh?
Do you like the assistants talking to the media?
I do.
Do you?
It's okay.
I think people are analyzing everything that they're saying. All right, we'll take this break, see if we can get that back. We got DC in there. DC is the fixer. He's in there fixing everything. You listen to Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC. It is the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, we don't have any accidents or incidents to tell you about. We have long-term road construction, Greensboro Avenue southbound at 26th Street. And we have some long-term road construction, McFarland Boulevard, both eastbound and westbound. That's between Jack Warner Parkway and Lurleen B. Wallace.
Lives. The one-day hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental-car comes with 24 hours roadside assistance.
At 2 p.m. as we broadcast live and pick a winner to go watch the Tide take on Oklahoma. Compliments of Pepsi and the Deli Press. Roll Tide.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather stays unseasonably warm today. Mostly sunny with a high at 86. Fair tonight, the low 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, the high 84. Sunday, partly sunny, a small chance of a shower. Sunday's high at 80. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 57 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Two-time state champion and two-time NIT champion, Barry Sanderson breaks down the latest in sports on Inside the Locker Room on Tide 100.9.
Tonight, 6:30, the Blue Plate Special will take the field. Louisville will take on Boston College. Line currently 7.5. That's brought to you by Chuck Norwood and the Remax of Gulf Shores. Buying or selling down in the Orange Beach Gulf Shores area. Chuck Norwood is your guy. Go to chucknorwood.com or give him a call, 251-948-1212. It's a 2-TV night, Chase. So you got to have 2 TVs going. You got to have the football game going. And you got to have the Yankees and the Dodgers going tonight. So I know Dad'll have 3 going. You got Boise playing UNLV tonight as well. That's on CBS Sports, ESPN2 for the little game. You don't want to change that pick, Dad? You're still good with that Louisville game?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. All right. We can act like you changed it. Then if it didn't hit, you could say you changed it. So we're trying to get to 5-4. We're currently 4-4. I got to go back and look at Doug's picks. We'll talk about all that, but we'll be back with you bright and early on Monday morning. We'll look back at the Alabama Crimson Tide. Do you think Alabama takes care of business this weekend? Do they cover the 17?
I don't think they cover the 17.
All right. We'll see if Brady Cook plays. I always don't trust people when they say probable or questionable. If they say out, I understand. We'll see who all plays in the game. But Alabama needs to play well and going into that off week, get ready for the LSU Tigers. All right, that's it for today's show. We get ready for the Gary Harris Show, so keep it locked. Thank you, Chase, for everything you did this week. You listen to Tide 100.9, 1230 AM, WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports. Have a great day, everybody.